Have you ever wondered how people learn songs by ear, or what people are talking about when they refer to chords as numbers? Well, stick around because this video is for you. So the easiest way to learn chord progressions on guitar is by using what's called the number system. Basically all this is it's taking any chord progression and assigning each chord a number so as to know which options you have in any given key. So if you look at the diagram on screen, you can see that each key has 7 chords. 3 of them are minor and 3 of them are major, and there's 1 diminished. So generally speaking, the chord you start on is going to be assigned to the number 1. So if we're in the key of G, the 1 is going to be the G. And then moving in alphabetical order, it's going to go up numerically. So number 2 is going to be A minor, number 3 is going to be B minor, and so on. The order of the major and minor is always this: major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, and then the diminished chord. So if we're in the key of G for this example, the major chords are going to be G, C, and D, and the minor chords are going to be A minor, B minor, and E minor, and then F sharp diminished. Those chords are going to sound like this. So as you can already tell, like each chord inside a progression really goes together, right? Like they're friendly with each other. They all resolve back to the 1. From where I'm from in school when we were kids, the way this was taught was do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, right? It's just the major scale. So but you're just taking do, re, mi and then adding the chords behind it. The reason this is helpful is pretty much all pop songs or all songs in like modern music or stay within the key, right? So if you can identify the 1, then there's a really good chance that the next chord is within the G major key. Of course, there's always room to think outside the box and use different chords outside, but generally speaking, it's within the key of the number system. This is also really nice because it can show you where chords are on different places along the neck. So as you can see, like the G major scale, the G repeats right here on the 5th fret D string. So we can do, let's say like, we can do like a G major 7 right here with that root being on the 3rd fret. And then you can also do a G major with that root being 5th fret D string. And then you can go even further up the fretboard and do a G major 7 up here on the 10th fret A string. So knowing the number system is just a really good way to make you very dangerous on the guitar. You don't need to know a lot of theory, but this is the one thing that will really take your game to the next level. Another important thing to note, that 6th chord, which is always going to be minor, that's your relative minor in the key. So if you were playing in the key of G major and you wanted to, let's say, rip a solo, you would use the relative minor pentatonic scale. So for G, that would be E minor. So if you're playing chords in G, so it's just gonna, the relative minor pentatonic scale is always gonna sound good with that major 1. So to practice just a quick basic progression to give you a deeper understanding of the number system, let's just practice in key of G major like we've been in, and let's do a 1, 4, 5. It's gonna be a G, a C, to a D. When you're in a key, the last chord you're playing in a progression, it always wants to get back to that 1, right? So when we're like going on that D, like you can feel it, it wants to get back to that G. So again, these are very general rules. It's a very good place to start. Of course, if you get into other genres like maybe jazz or like indie rock or something like that, like they love using chords that actually aren't necessarily in the key, but they still sound good. So a good place to get you started if you want to play chords that work well outside the key would be taking like the 4th chord in a progression that it's going to be a major chord, right? So making that minor actually sounds pretty good. So an example, sticking in G, is going to be that C. So instead of playing C major, we can try playing a C minor, and it's going to add a lot of, it's going to add kind of like a melancholy vibe in this case because we're taking that happy major to kind of a sad minor. when you're using chords outside the key, it still wants to resolve back to that 1. Another good one is taking the third chord in a progression, which is always going to be minor typically, and making that a dominant 7. I think this is one of the things that really took my playing to the next level when I started to understand like where the chords are coming from. Your hands will almost start to kind of develop a mind of their own and know where they need to go because you know which chord falls in the key. Thanks so much for sticking around. Let me know if this theory video helped you develop a better understanding of where chords come from on the guitar, and if you'd like to see more content like this in the future. Thanks.